Good day, everyone. My name is Ashley Ewald, and I'm the creator and the host of the Stormy Petrel Times podcast. This episode today, we are featuring the wonderful international politician from Estonia who serves on parliament. His name is Kristo Vaga, and he came in November invited by a politics professor, Dr. Kinnemberberg, to come and speak to the students about international politics. And he is here today to speak about the wonderful experience he's had and the challenges. So please welcome Kristo.
Hi, I'm very glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting. And I really remember very fondly visiting Oglethorpe University. It was like Hogwarts in real life. It was of course, from my view, I had a lot of envy that I didn't have the possibility to go to this university. But it was nice speaking with the faculty and, of course, with Madam President. It was very nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And this will also be republished on my personal podcast, 100% Real with Ashley Ewald Talk Show. So just to get right into the gist of the conversation that we are going to have today is just please, could you provide a little about yourself and just what you do?
Yeah, so I'm 27 years old at this moment. I got elected into the parliament last year, last March. Before that, I was the whole of my youth years, I was striving to be a professional cyclist. I did pretty okay. I even got a contract in France, raced a little bit internationally, even went to the World Championships in Richmond, Virginia in 2015 in the United States. But at some point, I decided not to go along with the professional career. I got an injury and so on. And I really like actually living in Estonia. Probably a lot of you folks who are listening to us have to go Google where is Estonia. It's in Europe, a very small country next to not so nice neighbor called Russia. But I've always been very fond of what is going on, like in the society, how people react to certain processes in the society, and how, of course, elected officials do that, and how do they try to not manipulate, but try to change the society to their best knowledge. And I was hoping to do that someday, but I wasn't, of course, ready to, I think, do it so early in my life. So when I came back to Estonia, I started working in my political party. And from there on, I got invited to be the minister advisor to the Estonian Minister of Defense. I was there when the Russian full-scale invasion started in Ukraine. So that was a very big challenge for myself. And last year, 2022, our prime minister invited me to be the campaign manager for our whole party, and also for her for the elections. And I was also a candidate in elections. So I was a campaign manager, and we did so well that we won a landslide election, and even the campaign manager got elected into the parliament, and now I'm working in the defense committee. So everything that is regarding defense, how Estonia is boosting their own defense, and of course how we're helping Ukraine in this tough moment. And also I'm actually going to go to Taiwan tomorrow. So I'm really trying to put a lot of focus on Estonian relations with Taiwan, because I see that is a very like-minded thing, that democracies should stick together. And then also I'm working in the European Affairs Committee and the Parliament. But of course, everything regarding youth policies, I try to also give my say, because there aren't a lot of young people in Parliament, and I am one of those few.
That is so interesting. Very powerful too. And I think it would be interesting I really hope that everything works out between Estonia and Taiwan. And yeah, I think that's very important, the work that you are doing. And just on that note as well, is why did you get involved in Estonia's politics?
I think I was an active youth, of course, from a point that, but I mostly was putting all of my activity to sports. But there was a little bit left over, so I tried to be everywhere. In school time, I tried to be active. I tried to be also on the school board. If somebody needed to do a speech somewhere, I was there. I was doing that. I was putting my hand up. I want to be that. So I really like attention. I think politicians, you need to like attention. And so I was trying to always be somewhere, be that guy. And I think that's tried me a bit more to be in politics. So I saw when I came back to Estonia, I saw that I want to do something for the greater good. I saw. So there was a few choices. If I just really fix on some really concrete thing that I want to be, I don't know, grammar or something like that, or work in an NGO or work in a ministry. But it's so like I can do all of those stuff, but eventually, in some point of my career, I have to go to the politician to say to her or him that, I don't know, you should change this legislative because this ain't helping Estonian entrepreneurs, or this isn't helping the youth, or this isn't helping our foreign relations. So I saw that Estonia is such a small country. Why should I be that guy going to them if I could be that guy? Who is trying to make a change from lead from the front. I think this is a mindset that I've always tried to put into my activities, and that's why I saw that myself going into politics is the way forward. And also the problem is that in Estonian politics, or politics in general, not a lot of youth really engage in that. But politics is everything around us. We should engage a little bit more. So I took the bull on the horns and engaged myself as much as possible.
That's so good. I totally agree with you. I think that politics is just, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily, it affects all of us. It's unfortunate truth, but I'm glad you said that out loud, you know? And I'm super glad that you're involved. It seems like you're making an enormous change, and that it starts local and it just gets to spiral into more of an impact, because most politics is local. And I've experienced that on my campus as well. Like, whether we like it or not, things become so politics. Politics is dirty. You got people who slander you, who always want to like say she said, he said, and accuse you of doing all these things and make it into something that is not, you know. And then that ability to, you know, for your job to rise above that is like, obviously that's when it comes into actions speak louder than words. Like, clearly you have done the work, you know. And just based off of that as well, could you like please provide some information on Estonian political parties? Like, how does that work in difference to our American politics?
Super. So yeah, regarding your last question, I think our generation, if we're always discussing that politics are dirty and so on, but I think like we can change that. Our generation can bring politics that aren't dirty, that are a bit nicer, that actually considers more facts, not emotions and slogans. So let's do the change ourselves. But regarding Estonian politics, so my last trip to the United States of America was organized by the Congress Library, and it was mostly because it's a long-standing program of teaching European countries how to run a country. And usually the first meeting that we had in DC was don't do anything that the United States does because we are messed up in a way. So our politics, our political scenario is totally different to your situation. One very concrete thing is that our president has pretty much no power. All of the power is in the hands of the prime minister. So a president is only a head of state. He or she is mostly a ceremonial person, but the prime minister actually has legislative power. Or do you a difference? She has a lot of power. And regarding the political parties, we don't have a two-party system. We always have coalition governments. So at this moment, we have 6 parties in the parliament, and we have 3 parties are in the coalition. The coalition is headed by my party, that is a liberal party. So, and we affiliate mostly with the Democrats, but actually on economic issues, on some economic issues, we also find a little bit of common ground with the Republicans. So we're mixed mash, but mostly on value based, and at this moment, definitely totally a Democratic Party affiliation in that. And in the parliament we also have, or in the coalition we have Social Democrats, and then one new party, and then the opposition. And it's good because they are in the opposition at this moment. It's the far right, who is like the Trump party in Estonia, and then the Isamaa pro-Parsha party, that is like normal conservatism, and then one center party that is also on the middle, but it is mostly a municipal party at this moment. So the situation is a bit scattered, but it means always making a government needs a lot of discussions before making a government. So because our political system pretty much doesn't give you the ability for one party to have full majority. I think it's very good, but of course, in some cases, effectiveness runs down from this issue, because always you have to rally around your own party to get a consensus, and then you have to get your partners on the board with your ideas. So it makes politics a bit harder to make an agreement, but I think for democracy-wise, it is a better solution, because nobody will have full-on power, and so nobody can't switch the country like fully on the left or fully on the right in 4 years, because it's pretty much not possible. So this is the, like, very overview of the Estonian politics. I can do a long speech on that. I can visit you again in the United States, but main difference is that we don't have two parties. We have a lot more.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I mean, that sounds very, like tedious, and it causes a lot of us to focus, and I just, being so young, like, I think you just turned 27, right? So, wow. I mean, kudos to you. And that is the oldest age for a Gen Z, because I think it goes from 15 to 27 years old. That's pretty powerful. So
you're trying to say that I will be very old next year?
No, I'm trying to say is that you are a Gen Z. Like, that's incredible. You're Gen Z politics. That is the youngest generation to be in politics right now. So actually applaud, and to be able to handle 27 is so young, especially going through all of these changes and like this, like, political parties and the headspace and the field that you are in for your age is just mind blowing, And just on top of that, what is it like to be a politician in Estonia, especially at your age?
It is. It was a bit overwhelming at the first time when I did the oath to office. But for from my point of view, because I was fully engaged in politics for the last 4 years or so, I was working in a ministry with a minister. So I knew how the sausage has been made before that. But of course, like still being a young person in politics, there are a lot of people who are like looking, not frown upon you, but still like, what are you doing here? Do you actually know this stuff? And because I'm also in the defense committee, and half of our defense committee is former generals, former soldiers. At first, like the glances at me who didn't know me were a bit, like really looking down upon me. But now, after a few committees, a few people came to me, said that, oh, I really like you. You're really sticking to the point, and you're making good arguments. You're not like only talking from your, I don't know, from your history as us generals do, but you're actually like focusing in the discussion in the committee, and this is very professional. So from these, I have had a few interactions like that like older members come to me, say that you're doing the right thing, and that I think is the really, like, it is so important for a young person to hear some good words from the elderly folks, from the people who have the history there. And as a young person, I think we have to, as we don't have the history behind us, we don't have the, I don't know, 4 pages of CV behind us, but we have one thing that the others don't have, and that this is like a huge amount of energy to do stuff. And I think we have a bit more, just a bit more strength to, just a bit more hours in a day to do things. And we have to really, I think young people have to focus on that and really work us to the top. I'm here now, but still, it's politics isn't the destination. Politics is a journey. So I think every young person really has to not like think that everything should be handed to you because you're young, but actually, you have to work 5 times more to get stuff for you, and it's okay. That's how you actually evolve yourself as a person. Because if I would be one of the few, or I am one of the few young persons in the parliament, and if I would think that, they will just help me, all of the other colleagues, to get myself or my things done, then I wouldn't evolve. I wouldn't be a better person. I wouldn't have I wouldn't evolve as a person. So I'm really just trying to be like 24/7 in the game, trying to get so much knowledge from everybody I meet, from the party staff, from the parliament staff, from our good foreign partners, and just to be a sponge, to observe everything, so I can make better decisions in the future. So I think, people look a little bit intimidated, but if a young person will come to the room and try to take control of the room, but I just enjoy that.
As you should, because I think you worked hard for it. And that's the thing. And that's very interesting about politics and how it's a journey. A lot of times, especially young people, like misconstrue what politics is. They either try to use it to their advantage, or they just don't understand is that policy making cannot be just alone based on emotion. It has to be about logical reading and sticking with the facts, I'm in college, and a lot of people at my school are teens, 19, 18, 19, 20 to 21-year-olds. We don't know what we're doing, and we make mistakes all the time. But I think that people like you, Kristo Vaga, is that you are a very good role model for young people like myself. Like, when you are young, but I'm just saying for very like teen people who are on the cusp of no longer being counted as a teen, you show that accountability and admitting your faults when you do something wrong, and I think that a lot of the times as college students and just in general, when you're like below 25 years old, when your brain isn't even fully developed yet, anyone who is involved in government, like, organizations or things that are related to policy, I think that we have to do a better job of emphasizing that politics is indeed about people. Policy is about people. And we see a lot of times people misuse that. And they have these emotions and are driven by resentment and are driven by, honestly, she said, he said, I think, I feel like statements, and try to use that as a way to basically make decisions on behalf of human beings. This is a reason why we have in American politics politicians who are elected who think that, for example, a 16-year-old should be able to access a automatic rifle or something like that, And it's based on that feel instead of looking at the facts. What's going to happen when a teenager wants to get their hands on those weapons? Stick with the facts, And it's interesting because then you could relate that towards your local community, and it starts local. So anytime there's injustices and stuff like that, you, for example, being able to go into government, go into other people's spaces and be able to no, I deserve a seat at the table too. I wish more people knew to do that. It's powerful. It's a powerful way of thinking because at the end of the day, the government isn't there to serve themselves. It's there to serve the people. And it's so easy for people to be like, no, I hear you. I implore you to reach out to me. I hear you. You don't hear them. Because if people like that do not listen to the constituents of what they're saying and how what they're doing is wrong and based on feel instead of factual, that's how we create the next generation of leaders. Leaders, I mean, by sarcastically saying, is that we create the next corrupted groups of people who want to be in politics that don't understand public policy. And that lack of understanding of public policy is exactly how we create a dangerous society where democracy derails, because it's based on facts. It's like that switch of you're innocent until proven guilty, right? That's how it should be. And that's how our American justice system is structured and supposed to be structured. But if we allow our local communities to flip that and be like, oh, it's guilty until proven innocent, that's how you start things like, again, witch trials, things like that are not based on facts and are based on accusations and feels, And that comes to a dangerous path. And just to furthermore on your story about being able to not ask for the seat at the table, you were able to be so involved at a young age. You broke that barrier and you're like, no, I'm a part of this community too. Therefore, I should be able to go in there and talk to you guys about what I think based on what I know and facts of what is going on. And so I implore people who are listening to this episode to do the same. Ask questions, ask the tough ones, and ask for the receipts. But on the last note, yeah.
But I think I totally agree with you, Ashley. It's very, very good points, and I think also from if you're a young person and if you're trying to go for an elected position in any case, of course, at first people will say to you, and maybe you will have doubts also, but who will vote for me? I'm a young person. I don't know nothing. I don't have this this history behind me as this 70-year-old man in a suit. So, but actually, a lot of young people also go to the polls and they don't find a candidate that is suiting to them because there aren't no people that are actually trying to focus on young people issues, on youth policy issues, the things that we see every day. So I think that's the case. If you're a young person, if you're going to elected officials, you have a very big electorate, a potential electorate. All of the young people are searching for a person who will stand out, who will be brave enough to talk these tough issues and talk from a perspective that actually comes from a perspective that every day communicates with these young people. Not as a person who will think that, oh, I know what this 18-year-old or this 25-year-old will want. No, they don't know that because they probably haven't met the one that isn't their grandchildren in maybe a few years, or maybe they have met one but haven't actually talked to them. So I think we are switching I really hope that we are switching in a change in politics, that a common person, and a common person I also mean like a young person who is coming out of college or who is in college, can actually go and pursue an elected position, because it is normal that everybody can take part of democracy, not just vote, but also be part of democracy in a way that their name is on the ballot. That is normal. We should more do this. And really try to focus on making to change ourselves, not asking only the questions from the legislators at this moment, but actually being the person that will give the answers to those questions that are being asked by your constituents and the people around college. So
yeah, that's so true. And I just being in a local community, I feel so powerful because I get to see. You got to trust the people. You got to trust your people. You got to trust the people that elected you. They know BS when they see it. Like genuine shows. And that's something I learned in politics, especially being part of the College Democrats of Georgia, Young Democrats of Georgia, and actually being with activists across the state, is that they always told me, Ashley, people know genuine when they see it. If they can't give answers in a actual clean cut evidential way, all right, this is actually what happened on this date and stuff like that, here's this and that, they can't do that, and it's just a bunch of anecdotes, then you must know that people will see right through BS. You don't have to cover up truth. You never have to cover up truth, and people's priorities and where they lie will show. Truth prevails. It will show. And I'm just so glad to sit here and speak to you and hear your story, because I want to end on this note. What advice do you have for young people about politics, and if they too want to get involved?
As we talked in this episode, I think we both accepted that politics isn't something going on in some very important house in the town hall or something like that. But politics is everything. So politics is everything you do in your life, in your work, in your university, in your school, so on. Even, I don't know, in kindergarten, you have politics and so on. So I think for a young person, just to pursue a career in politics or elsewhere, just take every opportunity you have. If somebody presents you an opportunity, go for it. Like if there is a possibility to be active, go for it. Because you, of course, maybe at that point, it won't like bring you something really, I don't know, it won't bring you a prize at that moment in a week or so, but maybe it will be useful for you in a year. You won't know that. Like when I was going in as being a professional cyclist, I didn't think that maybe this can help me in 5 or 10 years if I'm in politics. But it actually is helping me a lot, because I have a lot of contacts all over the world. Just contacts, and being active is so important for you. And in politics, those two things and communication will get you a very long way forward. In this age of time, everybody has a potential, or you get knowledge from AI, or I don't know, everything. Everything is, we all have libraries in our phones, but being active is a thing that not a lot of young people do. They try to be maybe sticking to their backbench and so on. Don't do that. Go lead and try to be active. You will be presented with challenges, but you will also be presented by opportunities, and these opportunities will get you a long way forward in your life. I think that is like the main focus. Do you have I don't know, everything from learning a new language or learning how to play Sudoku, or I don't know, just having a chat with somebody who's coming to your faculty, like as I met you in a cold day in the start of December in Oglethorpe. This is an opportunity for me and also an opportunity for you. So I think, yeah, every door, go in there, see what's going on, and search for a new door in somewhere, even a nicer place.
Thank you so much. Well, everyone, that is a wrap. And I hope you guys took something away from that and see yourselves in these guests that are featured. And please don't forget to follow Kristo Vaga on all his social medias, Kristo, last name Vaga. And for me, please follow on my Instagram at Ashley Ewald Official, along with the Stormy Petrel Times and Gen Z.Speaks. Thank you, everyone, and have a great one.